London in the early 1800s was a city at the crossroads of change. The Industrial Revolution was reshaping the landscape, from grand factories to new brewing industries that supplied the thirst of a rapidly expanding population. It was a time of booming progress, but also dangerous neglect. At Meux's brewery, a giant vat, one of several used to brew ale for the masses, stood towering over the workers. Inside, it was more than 320,000 gallons of beer, held back by nothing but the thin walls of the vessel. What seemed like an ordinary day quickly turned catastrophic. Then, without warning, the unthinkable happened. The vat burst open, releasing a torrent of beer into the streets of St. Giles, an area teeming with homes and businesses. Beer, flowing like a violent river, flooded the streets, breaking down buildings and sweeping away everything in its path. The flood didn't just damage property, it claimed lives. 8 people were killed in the devastation, but their names were lost in the shadow of the flood's bizarre nature. Among them were workers, residents of nearby homes, and families caught in a moment of tragedy. The beer poured into the streets, flooding homes, shops, and businesses. Buildings crumbled under the force of the liquid, while people rushed to escape the tide of ale that threatened to engulf them. The streets were filled with debris, and the once bustling area was now a scene of ruin and chaos. The disaster shocked the city, but what followed was just as important. Public outrage echoed through the streets, with people questioning how such an event could happen. How could a brewery, vital to the city's commerce, operate without safeguards? The question of industrial safety came into sharp focus, sparking debates that would reverberate through Parliament and the public for years to come. The beer flood acted as a harsh reminder of the dangers of unchecked industrial growth. It forced the government to face the reality of inadequate safety measures. The outcry would eventually lead to new regulations, changing the landscape of industrial safety for the better, though not without a heavy cost. While the London beer flood was a freak disaster, it wasn't just an oddity of history. It was a turning point, a moment when tragedy sparked change. Today, strict safety regulations ensure that industries around the world are better prepared for the risks that come with progress. And as strange as it may sound, the flood of beer was a flood of change, one that continues to shape our world. History isn't just about events, it's about the lessons we learn from them. The London beer flood taught us that no progress comes without responsibility, and that sometimes even the most bizarre events can lead to the most important changes.